Hello, bonjour, and welcome to your new Bonheur Private Wines video. Let me wish you here a very happy new year, send you my best wishes for 2022. Let's hope that things slowly get back to something somewhat normal and that we can start living again more serenely and more freely, travel and see our loved ones as much as we used to. Although I guess whatever happens, at least since we're part of the wine club, we'll get to travel quite a bit through the wines that we taste and the story that they carry, and we will see some of our loved ones, if only our beloved wine bottles. Since it's a new year and a fresh new start, I want to take a minute, or say 10 minutes, to think about our wine travels and discoveries of 2021. Do you remember the countries that we visited and the fantastic wines that we tasted together last year? Let me refresh your memories and have a look together at our wine club's family photo album. Recall those delicious moments that we had with our vinos. Let's go. Many of us weren't able to travel much last year at all, but we, with the wine club, hopefully still took you to explore some of the very best wine countries in the world, through some of the very best wine regions in the Americas and Europe. As you know, we love to take you up into the extreme altitude vineyards of Argentina to breathe up some of the purest air in the world, get blinded almost by how beautiful landscapes are up there, and hopefully end up astonished by how delicious wines from the Andes are. We find so many incredible and unique wine gems from areas around Bill Bonner's ranch, from the Salta province, that we almost can't bring in enough of those handcrafted small production volume Argentine wines to satisfy our and your curiosity, as we know, and thirst for them. We have a super Argentina wine selection coming up very soon for you around the next couple of weeks. I'll tell you more about it next week. But last year we started also with delicious extreme altitude vinos. We had this fantastic light-bodied red to be served slightly chilled. Where is it? Right here. From a unique grape, unique to Argentina, called Criolla, from our friend Agustin Lanús. A great discovery it was, even for me, as really no one really gets to taste this wine. It's so rare. It's a forgotten grape variety. And then what I remember from that selection last year was how every wine in there impressed me more than the previous one. The Atypico Cabernet was delicate and subtle fruit bomb it was. Still, all of these extreme altitude red blends were dense, fruity, spicy, juicy, meaty, age-worthy, yet vibrant and fresh. The pure magical expression of extreme altitude in just a few words, Amar y Vivir, Piloto de Prueba, L'Amitié and Taquil were all better than the other. Every one of them really unique, and the good news is that we have more wines coming up this year from several of the same wineries from Argentina with slightly different cuvées, so different wines. So you'll not only get to recall these wines and the talent of their producers, but also to explore more of what they make. Again, like last year, we're about to take you back right into the heart of the high-up Andes mountains and their best wines. So stay tuned and get ready. Since many of you and us also like to travel domestically to find good vino, in the US, I mean, and because of course the US also makes some of the most interesting wines on the planet, of course the second quarter selection from the club was dedicated to exploring the terroirs of California. We went to coastal Sonoma County, right by the ocean north of San Francisco, to find a zingy and mineral Chardonnay from arguably one of the very best spots for balanced Chardis in Cali. We traveled even further north of that to Mendocino County and the Anderson Valley to find a super fruity yet refreshing Pinot Noir full of delicate berries and mixed spices. We of course had to stop by in Napa Valley because still some of the very best Cabernets and red blends come from this area. We had the Auctioneer Cab and Verdun Estates Red, two rich and profound wines with a vibrant personality. But we didn't settle just in Napa, that would have been too easy, and we had an extremely dense Cabernet from north of Napa Valley, namely Shannon Ridge Oves Cab, and a Syrah from the Central Coast, Santa Barbara County, which had fresh raspberry flavors, loads of pepperiness as well, and a remarkable chewy texture that I love and remember so vividly. Those were delicious West Coast gems that I personally have really fond memories of. Yet, to continue find the best possible wine gems, we also had to go to the old continent because still they make decent wines, right? And last year we brought you to Italy and Spain. Italy first because it's probably the country that has the most variety combined with high quality in the world, and because from the US it's not always easy to find truly interesting Italian wines and sort out the good ones from the less good in the Italian wine complexity. We went from the very south of the tip of the Italian boot, from Sicily, with a wine combining typical Sicilian grapes called Nero d'Avola and Nero Mascalese with the goodness and the input of international superstars Cabernet and Merlot. An explosive wine it was, a modern twist to a traditional style. We continued north our exploration of Italy through Tuscany with a Super Tuscan, a Chianti and a Reserve Chianti, so you could familiarize yourself with those three iconic and historical Tuscan styles before heading right to the north of the country, from which we really wanted you to experience the best grape called Nebbiolo that is so unique to this area called Piedmont in the north. Spicy, dense in tannins, yet very zingy and acidic, extremely powerful aromatically, yet somewhat delicate and certainly complex Nebbiolo is. We had two examples of Nebbiolo, a Langhe, one from the Sorelle of Nicola, the sisters of Nicola, a small family project there, and an iconic Barolo from one of the best villages in this famous area called Serralunga d'Alba. Truly an exploration we had of the best vineyards in Italy. For our last quarter's selection from a Latin European country to another, we went from Italy to Spain, and it's actually going to be a little hard for me to summarize that Spanish selection that we had, at least briefly. I said Italy is the most diverse wine country in the world, which is true, it is acknowledged to be, but in that very case we somehow went deeper into the diversity of Spanish wine with our Spanish picks with extremely unique and varied red wine styles. There was a rare Petit Verdot, a scarce French grape from Bordeaux grown on the Mediterranean coast. There was a Tempranillo from the western side of the country near Portugal, another Tempranillo from the unique, iconic region of Rioja, and a Reserva Rioja at that. There was another explosive Tempranillo-based red blend from Navarra to the north of the country, and a high-end Cabernet Merlot blend from one of the most prestigious appellations in Spain, the Spago de Otazu. Maybe check out my detailed video about all of these wonders from Spain in case you missed it. It's not that long ago, and I think we might still have a few bottles of those for sale. And of course, finally from Spain, we had one of the best sellers this year, a stunning sparkling wine from Catalonia. Delicious. Admittedly, wine for me is more than a job. It's been a big passion of mine for over 20 years. So I guess not everybody gets to feel the same way about it as I do. But what I find in wine, which Our selections, especially last year, helped me with immensely. Wine is a companion, a travel companion that I can travel with easily. It takes me other places. It's also a very good everyday life buddy that I can always call in to share a glass with when I need to, when I'm having a tough day at work, for example. Not that I have too many of those, but still. It tells me stories, it brings me somewhere else where landscapes are always stunning and relaxing, where a passion from the people who make them for balance and refinement is always present. So whatever happens in the world, I can always get a little travel, a little escape out of my day, a dream that lasts as long as sipping through a glass of vino. Not that it replaces a good human friend, of course, but when you can only talk to them through a computer screen, well, having a wine friend is always nice as well. I'm glad again last year in 2021 we got to travel the world of wine together that way. It was fun, really fun sharing the journey with you, and if my intel is correct, we're not stopping anytime soon in 2022, starting with our next Argentine wine selection that I was mentioning, coming up very soon. And I hear the whole team of the Bonner Wine Club is very, very excited about this one. And so I am as well. Take care in the meantime, be safe, enjoy the journey, and I will see you soon to talk about those Argentine wine. And I will see you soon, as always, in the wonderful world of vino. Cheers.